sales and strategy
Our
meeting.
our jumpstart meeting.
Just a Monday meeting. We wanted to come together, different territories, right? For us in La Rosa Realty, it's very important that every office that we serve get to have access to resources, to connections, to referrals, to networking. And we decided as leaders, so we are here for those that you don't know. We have our broker from Georgia, which is Carmen. Carmen, do you want to say hi? Unmute, please.
Hello everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and this is just starting. So, hello, and I hope that everyone from Georgia will join shortly.
Thank you, Carmen. And we also have here, being like the uh, podcast manager, we want to call it, the background manager, the sound, the system, everything. Teresa Santos, which she is our lead team leader for Miami, and she's also taking leadership in the territory of Puerto Rico, which we're very excited to have, because both Carmen and I were actually Puerto Rican as well from the island. So we're very excited to have an extension of us there, so we can all grow together, so we can all keep sharpening up our skills. And most of all, so we can open business relationship, doesn't matter the state that you serve, just take advantage of the fact that we are a nationwide company and we're actually now in international waters. So we get to make the best out of this business model. And the only way that we can do that is by connecting and, of course, learning. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Jane Mallis. I am the broker of California office and also Texas now, which is a very new office. And excited to be here, excited to lead today's first phone call, which is, again, this is going to be a recurring Monday launching. What is the name again, Teresa? It's Monday.
Jumpstart Mondays.
Jumpstart Monday. So remember, so Jumpstart Monday, which is happening at 3 different time zones. So we're going to have 3 p.m. for California. I'm not sure if California, anybody is joining yet. We're going to have a 5 p.m. Central Time for those of us in Texas, and we're going to have the 6 p.m. version for the East, those of you that are operating on the Eastern Time. So what is the intention of this call? Just so you can have a little bit of understanding about the format. We wanted to bring you some motivation for the week. We want to have open conversations. So this is your call. This is not our call. We're just facilitators. So this is your call. It's very important that anything you have in your heart, anything that you have in your business brain, anything that you think may be of value to share, or maybe it's something that you feel is a challenge and you would like some support on that, more than, multiple heads think better than one head. So we are here. We're bringing to the table different levels of experiences, different, of course, market experiences. We have different type of knowledges, right? We have been in the industry for different versions of year. I've been in the industry by myself only 20 years already, and I have a background of lending and a real estate. I've always been a broker, so I've never really been a single agent or an agent myself. So, my experience that I can bring to the table might be different from what Carmen, which is phenomenal also in commercial, there in Georgia. And then, of course, what Teresa can bring to the table, which she has, she's a little more bold in the sense of the social media and education and things like that. So just use us. The whole point of Monday calls is for you guys to use us and get to know each other and maximize this hour. And if we get to be a little longer than 1 hour, so be it. So maybe today is going to be a little more about, kind of like a trial and error. The format might be a little iffy, but if you stay with us and you bear our little hiccups, we promise to have a great call for you. So again, I don't know if you guys see my screen,
Yes.
but I would like you to read that and take that in. It's something that I do a checkup every morning, and I encourage all my agents to do a checkup, because again, this is a very personal business. We are not selling homes. We are selling a lifestyle. We are selling financial freedom to some people, financial opportunities to other. We are selling upgrades in financial status. I mean, and you get to see it that way, and you get to take it to a personal level. And when I say personal level, it doesn't mean that you're going to take in all the drama that your clients are going to bring to the table, because they bring plenty, right? What I mean about being personal is that you get to be vulnerable, you get to be open, and you get to be authentic in those connections in order for you to really create a long lasting business, right? Because, I don't know if you have heard, but it's common in sales to know that, who's your top 50 people, right? Who's the top 20 people that you know? And when we use that term, who's your top 50, who's your top 20, or maybe perhaps you don't know that many people, you're just starting, and maybe you know five. That's fine. But who's that top five? And what we mean about that, or what the industry means about that, is that who is that person who is your cheerleader, which means doesn't matter where they are, what scenario they're physically in, if they're at baseball, if they're at a rehearsal dinner, if they're at a wedding, wherever they are, if they hear the conversation about real estate, they're going to go ahead and mention, oh, you need to call Teresa, or oh, you need to call Carmen, right? Because they are your top people, and they always are going to bring opportunities for business to you. That's what a top 50, top 20, or top 5, whichever you are, means. And you get, as a salesperson, to carry and nurture those. But beyond that, it's very important that you show up at the table with the best attitude, right? You're careful about your words. You're careful about the respect that you're going to show to others. And you are going to demand the same respect to yourself as a salesperson, right? So nobody, it doesn't matter whether you're dealing with a $20 million deal and that person is disrespectful to you, you don't have to take that, right? You have to have the courage to do business with the same values that you hold, right? And you have to own that, right? Because sometimes, we're in a financial situation that, oh my God, I need that extra commission, right? But don't sell your soul. Don't sell your soul and compromise what is important to you, because if you do it once, you're going to do it two, three, four, and you're going to end up hating a business that it is super rewarding. And it is super amazing, because what we do and we get to create for others, there's no comparison out there, right? What we do in real estate is no comparison out there. So I'm going to go ahead and allow Carmen and Teresa to take over for a little bit and talk a little bit about sharing with this quote that we have here, their the motivation speeches as well. So Carmen, go ahead, take the floor.
Oops. Wait. Sorry.
Well, while Carmen is getting that, I'm going to go ahead and chime in. First of all, I want to see where everybody here is from. So if you can put in the chat where you're located, because this is not only about you guys, but it's also about creating a network of, since now we have leaders in Georgia, Texas, California, Puerto Rico, Florida. We want to make sure that you guys connect, you network. So I want to see where you're from. Where I see Houston coming in. I see Miami. We want to know where you're from, because we want to be able to, everybody here, to connect. So thank you so much for sharing. We have Puerto Rico in the house. We have there Georgia, California, Homestead. Woo-hoo-hoo, more Georgia. Awesome. So, this is a great way for you guys, as you're seeing the chat right there, connect with someone, because this is important for us to be able to connect. This is a meeting of collaboration. This is a meeting where, like Yamali said, this is not our meeting. This is your meeting. This is about you and how we can help you grow your business, your network. So we have Fort Myers, Davie, awesome. Pembroke Pines, beautiful. So, that's what we're here for. We want to make sure that you guys understand that this is all about you. We are here to support you. We are here to encourage you. If you have, I'm obviously Miami, I'm in Florida, and both in Puerto Rico. So if you guys have questions about Puerto Rico, or you have questions about Florida, or Florida has questions about California or Georgia, this is the place for you guys to be able to bring that to the table. So we're super excited to bring this to you, because we want to create value, not only for you, but the people that you want to bring into La Rosa as well. Because this meeting moving forward is going to be open to anyone you want to invite that is in the real estate business that you might want to be introducing to La Rosa. Invite them to this meeting as well. So that way now you can start connecting them with La Rosa, and hopefully they'll join and be part of your organization. But this is what this is all about. It's about collaborating and helping each other. I also want to encourage that if anyone here has a talent, okay, if you're a leader, if you're good at social media, you're good at YouTube, you're good at something that you feel you want to share with others, please let us know, because we'd love to have you, maybe do a presentation, share a little bit of your knowledge, because we want to create leaders as well. So I'm very happy to be here with Yaimalis, and we're also going to have someone who's going to come in. She couldn't make it today, Daniela, but she is from Central Florida. So if some of you might know her, maybe not, but she is a top producer who does a lot of luxury. So she's going to help us bring classes luxury to you guys as well. So, we're really excited about everything that's coming forward for our people here. All right, Carmen, I'm going to give it back to you.
Hey, we are so excited to have you all here. And I think that this is an opportunity to collaborate, like my colleagues have said already, that we don't want to hear only what we have to say. We would love to hear you. We would love to hear what your concerns are, what your experiences are, and in a day-to-day basis. And definitely we are in a business that is a people business, and we need to collaborate with each other and hear those experiences, because maybe what you have what happened to you lately can put value in the life of other colleagues. Sometimes we learn valuable lessons with little things, and sometimes we have to experience a little difficult situation, but it's also an opportunity for us to know exactly what to expect the next time. So, hey, we learn from each other, and that's precisely why we are here. So I love that quote, Jay Malis, because I think that it reminds me about the golden rule. We would love to see happening, in others, what the same way we would like to treat each other, the same way that we would like to be treated. And be careful, be thoughtful, be able to open um your heart in order to captive that person that you would like to work with, and open your heart. That's precisely what we would like to do here. Share information that will help us grow, and we will do it together. So thank you
See,
for that quote. And I know that you were saying, Teresa, that there are other people joining. And I think that there are many from already from Georgia and from Texas and from
yes,
Florida.
yes,
So
California too. Yeah,
and
I see.
California.
California too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So
Um,
exciting.
yep. So excited, and feel free to share anything in the chat that we would love to and we would love to share with everyone.
Yes, please do. And the other thing I wanted to share too is that, as we're collaborating, as we're growing this network and we're growing, again, to be able to help you guys from different states and in your market, because we want to be able to reach not just Florida, because let's all be real here. La
Mhm.
Rosa is amazing company, an amazing, amazing company that we all love. But, a lot of the things are focused in Florida, which, we wanted to expand that. We don't want that to be anymore. That's why Yemalis and Carmen and I came together, because we want to be able to bring these states together where we're in. And who knows, at one point we might have Tennessee, we might have different areas joining us, because we want it to be, where Carmen can speak about her market to you guys. I can speak about my market. Yemalis can speak about her market. We can bring all these ideas together to everyone here and be able again to collaborate and grow together, because we are all in the same boat. We all want to grow. We all want to do well. And I think that that's really important. And having that attitude, like that quote said, is it's all about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. And whether you're selling, a $6 million property or a $250,000 property, it doesn't matter. There was something that Yamali said that's really important for us to remember, is that we are in a field where we're not just selling a house, right? Homes are a very valuable asset for your clients that can even help them, especially if they're investing, that can help them create generational wealth for themselves, for their children. So you're not just selling a house, you're selling or a dream. You're helping them create something that they can now build for their family. So, be very proud about what you do. And that's what I have to say about that quote.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you so much. So, just so you guys understand a little bit about the format of what's going to happen on your Mondays from now on, we're going, of course, like I said, we're going to launch the meeting with a little positive feedback or attitude. And also, we're going to be talking about the different markets, right? So, what are the statistics of the market so you can compare where you guys are at? I want to actually hear from you guys, from you agents. How is your market? So, if anybody can just go ahead and unmute. I want to hear some market statistics. And why I'm asking for market statistics is because if we do not know our numbers, and this is something that, if you have ever said at the raise calls, numbers are important for many reasons, right? Why? Because when you are, right, everybody thinks that they're a realtor, whether they're licensed or not, right? So if you're in any party or any social event, everybody has an opinion about real estate, about the market. They pretend they know it all, or whatever that case may be. And it is up to us, right? Because we're the ones that gather data that are in front of the real data to actually take those conversations to either clarification of concepts that may be shared that are not correct. You can either calm people that might be in despair for no reason, right? Or create an opportunity for somebody in that conversation. And the only way we can do that is when we know numbers and how our markets are behaving, because we're going to be coming with the point and the sense of confidence, and we're not going to allow noise to get in the middle of that, right? Because there's plenty of noises are coming from the news, noises are coming from social media, noises are coming from the desperate friend or family member that you have. And because we're professionals and we're the licensees, we get to show up the right way with the right data. Of course, are we expecting you guys to completely know the statistics from 5 years, 10 years? No. But it is a great rule of business planning for your week to engage, to plug in, see what data is available for that week on your market, right? What are the most recent sales? What's maybe market trend is happening? Any news that is pertaining to your market. And again, you can be macro or you can take it micro to your specific zip code, right? Or your specific street if you want to be that specific. But what I'm encouraging everybody to do, right, is to start getting this in your daily routine, right? When you're working on your calendar of what activities are you going to be doing for the week, put this as part of your education. Like, okay, I'm going to see what my MLS information has available for me. That way I can get my mind in the right mindset. I can either be reactive or proactive. And what we want you to do is be proactive, right? Get that knowledge and launch your week that way. So if anybody is from Florida today, can you please unmute, say your name, and tell me a little bit about what's happening where you are, the location that you're from, and a little bit information on what's going on. And not everybody at the same time, please.
That's my line, girl.
So, I see a Janet here. I'm going to call them. I see you. I'm going to call you. Janet, where are you from? Which market?
There's a couple.
Janet. There's two Janets.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I see Munaris. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your last name correctly.
Yeah, Munaris. I'm in Georgia.
Okay, perfect. Then let us know a little bit about what's going on in your specific market in Georgia.
Georgia, the market is good.
Okay.
So I'm trying to log in my system so that way I can give you more specific numbers.
Well, you don't have to for this specific exercise. I just want to hear your experience, like how like if you can give us a little information about, what's the inventory looking like, meaning how many days on the market, if you can, give us some data on that, like are they 40 days, 30 days, 15 days, 20 days? What's the average date of what you're seeing in the specific market that you serve?
I serve listings and buyers, sellers
Okay.
and buyers.
Okay.
And I see the different like listings sit on the markets last year, more than this year. I just trying to you you got me like
No, no
without.
worries. Don't worry. So this is role play, Janet. So take this as a role play. Don't. This is not a right or wrong. And let me tell you
Okay.
why I ask you this question as well. Right. So, one of the reasons why we need to learn about how many days on the market a property is been is because when you are doing listings presentations, right, when you are in front of your sellers, you have to be the what do you call that? What's the right term for this? Will be like you're going to be the peace giver, meaning if you're in a market that the average date of the market is 60 days, there's nothing wrong if the property is 60 days on the market, right? So when you are doing that listing presentation, you are going to say, hey, listen, the market strategy or this property specifically that you intend to sell, this is in a market that takes from list date to contract 60 days. And this is absolutely normal. And it has been happening in the last, I don't know, 3 years or 24 months or whatever that information that you have, right? And why does that help you? Because if the property does stay 60 days on the market, there is no need for price reduction, right? So they have to know this in advance because that's how the markets behave in that specific area. And that's why, when you are evaluating data around, it's important to look at that type of information because it's going to help you have those dialogues when you're in front of your sellers in regards to what is the expectation of me coming as an agent and trying to market that property, and what is your expectation in terms of when do you think that first offer is going to show up. Okay.
Yeah,
Makes
it's
sense?
like it's depend like sometimes the seller listen to you and your advice about pricing the property. Sometimes they don't. So the ones that listen to me, we sell the property. It's on the contract like in at least 4 weeks. Is going to the on the contract. The other one that doesn't listen to you, like that is happening now with a listing, and you show them and explain everything, and it's still sitting there. It depends. Sometimes sellers
Oh yes, that's a
listen,
whole
some
different, a whole conversation. Yeah, no, but again, like, and that's a very good point, Janet. Pricing is it's a good, it's very important. But again, going back to the data that is available for us to kind of like educate ourselves every week or every month,
Mhm.
right? Depends on how you want to handle it. And the reason why I encourage you guys to look at that is because again, it's going to allow you guys to create that expectation for the seller about their property, right? Because let's face
Yeah.
it, every seller think the property was, $25,000 million, right? And it's like perfection. And the reality is that the market shows them wrong often more than not, right?
Yeah.
So who is in Florida right now from here that wants to volunteer and unmute themselves and let me know a little bit about what's going on there.
Good evening to all. My name is Jana Lainez. I'm here in Florida, in Homestead, Florida.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Happy to be a part of the group. And the market around my area, zip code 3302, it's taken a little longer because there's a lot of pre-construction, but it's a challenge for many buyers as things are changing. And I think right now a lot of from what I've contacted and I've done my little farming, a lot of them want to wait. Obviously, they're thinking that the interest rate is going to go down, but apparently it might not go to down neither. And I think my encouragement to them is just that prices will not go down as well as homes. So either if they wait for interest rate going down, houses are not going to go down extremely. So I try to encourage them to look at more of the value of the home, and just encourage them to give them a little bit more education in regards to the area, what's going on, and the growth. Homestead is growing a lot. There's a lot of pre-construction, and the market right now is a little slow, but it's an average, I would say, like 50 to 60 days
Okay.
in the market. So
Which
I
is
don't
which
know
is
what else.
pretty average. I wanted to share that that's pretty average now, right?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And that's
Maybe
exactly how
maybe
many
during
days
COVID it was like 2 days, but right now that's pretty
Right.
normal.
Yeah, no, and Teresa, in piggybacking on that, just so everybody knows, the market of Texas is 54 days on the market. So, a
Oh,
whole
okay.
different state, and that's basically what we're facing over here.
No,
Mhm.
and I also
Mm,
wanted to share that the importance of the numbers, right? Because not only obviously with the dialogue with the sellers and all that, but for those of you who are feeling, oh my God, this market is so slow, there's like nothing going
yeah,
on, there's nothing. The only way you're gonna see is looking at those numbers, right? So for
right.
instance, I did look at the Miami numbers for the last 7 days. Okay. In the last 7 days, they had 3,383 new listings. Okay. 835 went back on the market. 4,938 had a price decrease, which is really important to know. And 1,820 closed sales in the last 7 days. So when I hear my agents talking about, oh, the market is so slow, these are the numbers you need to look at because there's movement. There's, 3,300 listings in the last 7 days. Okay. 1,820 closed sales in the last 7 days. So that means that the real estate market is moving, but you're not going to know that because you're listening to the news, you're looking, listening to interest rates, you're listening to all these things. And until you start looking at numbers, you're not going to be able to see the truth, right? And be able to take that and say, okay, well, if there was 30, how come I didn't get one of those 3,300 listings? Right?
And I think also the market in each individual cities, they have different movements,
Yeah,
and I think right now, Homestead in Florida City is one of the growth right now. It's one of the hottest market, compared to, I would say, Doral, that it's a
correct.
little bit, you know. So I just think that if we farm ourselves and we market, and look at, and it's so true, look at those numbers and see the activity and where we're going to farm or what location to farm. I think it's a better outcome that we would have, instead of going to, like, to say Doral, to market Doral. Well, we know that right now is not the hottest city to be.
Correct. There you go, Janet. Absolutely.
Very good feedback. Anybody from the market of Texas that want to unmute and share a little bit of what's going on in Texas? And no right or wrong with this.
Yep.
Just go ahead and take the floor. Let me see. I'm going to call. Let me see who's here.
Hi, Natasha here. How are you?
That's
Hi,
it.
Natasha. Welcome.
Hi. Well, in my perspective, it is, it is still active. A lot of people moving here. Listings are taking 30 to 60 days on the market. But maybe rather than being, even though it's the normal, I have seen many price reductions. And obviously, it's very local too. So Houston, maybe it's so big that Katie's market is different than the Woodlands market, right? So just seeing that, definitely fall share, which is further west, and there is kind of more competition because there is new construction. So those neighborhoods where homeowners bought during 2021, 2022 and are selling now, where there's still new construction, are having the most struggles. In terms of pricing, because they're competing with new construction. Otherwise, I see more inventory, which I see also as an advantage for buyers, which I represent the most. And it's like, okay, you have more to pick, you have more to negotiate. So I don't see it as a bad thing. I have seen also many buyers go, um waiting on rates on me too. Like, hey, what about the rates? But some others have taken action. Those who have taken action are so happy they did, because they were at least on a price range where the rent was the same as the mortgage. So why keep renting, right? So at least so far, that here in Houston for me.
Yeah, and there's always the appreciation factor, right? So they
Yeah,
already have some savings in the house,
yeah.
which, it's no other investment is going to do that for you as
Correct.
fast. Okay, so California, anybody from California that want to take the floor and share a little bit of what's going on in California? And I think, let me see, go back here. You can unmute yourself. You are in familia. Go
Yeah.
for it.
So many quiet people today.
I know. Let me see. I'm gonna call. I
Hi,
see. Is that
hi.
Isabel? Oh,
Yeah,
who's unmuting? Okay, Isabel, go for it.
yeah. I think
Oh,
market in California. I see we have a lot of inventory, but I see they are taking between 30 to 45 days on the market. And some of the houses I noticed they are lower the prices, but this depends on the neighborhood. Maybe you can be on the same city, but it depends on the neighborhood. It takes the difference on sales, and some of them they sell faster than others.
yep, it's all demand.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah. So one of the things that I hear here new, and compared to the other markets, it's going as micro as the neighborhood, right? I know that the lady from Florida mentioned the zip code, right?
Yeah.
And how hot that specific zip code and the behavior of that specific zip code right now, California is bringing to the table. Then it's goes beyond that. It can be a very as niche as literally a subdivision or a neighborhood name, that is going to make the difference. And so you can understand a little bit the configuration of the state of California. For example, everybody hears on the news often Oakland, the city of Oakland, right? And the city of Oakland is such a dynamic market that a street over here can have in the $1 million range, and then this other street that is parallel to over here, you're looking in the 500s, and then over here you're looking in the threes. I mean, it is absolutely insane how specific and how dynamic that market is. So, any other person that want to unmute and share what's going on in the market before we move along with the agenda? You take the floor, please.
Well, if nobody from Georgia maybe join, I will share a couple of statistics from Georgia. We have our office in Duluth, which is Gwinnett County, which is in the northeast area of Atlanta. And that is more urban, than, the outskirts that are more rural in Georgia. So here we have an inventory that is growing. And if we compare that from last year, we can tell that have grown 20% in sales. And that was specifically in March. April went down a little bit, but that means that from last year, which we may think, well, the market is worse than last year. It's not. It's
Mhm.
moving along. So it's up 20%, almost 21% from last year. These same the same
Fine.
March, the same month of last year, we went 21% up. And right now, the market, the average days on the market is 44 days. So it's not that bad either. At the beginning of the year, it was up to almost 72 days on the market, and now it went down to 44 days. So, and the average price is 490,000, a little more than that, 490,192 to be more specific. But if we compare that at this same year, this same time last year, it was not even in the 400 yet. So we have gone, I mean, the prices have gone up. And watch the market. It doesn't matter if you don't like statistics or not, but the numbers tells the story, and you can use them for your advantage in the way you can approach the sellers, in the way you can approach the buyers. So they may think that the market is not moving, but it's not stopped. It hasn't stopped. It's always changing, and it's important that you dominate that language in a way that you can share that story with your clients. And believe me, that's very important, in a way that you can have an understanding of the market and communicate that to your clients, so they see that is not we are in constant movement. The market is always changing, and they cannot, even if they are not a numbers person, it's important for you to share that, because that way they will see that if they don't move at the same pace, unfortunately, they will miss a good opportunity to invest in real estate. And you are the professional to communicate that and use your numbers and know your numbers.
Absolutely.
Correct. And remember, not everybody has their goals to sell or buy at the same time, right? So not everybody is a summer market seller or buyer. Not everybody's a spring, or it's a fall. And you get to understand the timeline of that client, that consumer, right? Whether and time it with statistics, right? So create that expectation. Okay, if I am going to be purchasing in the fall market, how the fall looked last year versus today, and whether am I going to actually have an opportunity here, or is it going to perhaps it's going to be a little more pricey for me? Should I take the decision instead of actually waiting, taking the decision right now, enacting all that? It's fascinating, and again, it's our job to be able to take our client, understand their goals first of all, right? What's my timeline to either act on this purchase or on this sale, and then based on that feedback, when they share it, you as a professional, and if you do this, I'm telling you, hardly any agent does this, and it's going to separate you from the pack, right? Everybody does social media, everybody does this, everybody does that. But if you are the agent that comes with a value, that can take that goal and put it in a timeline and say, hey, listen, if you wait until this, the history of your market shows this, and have that very smart, intelligent conversation with your client, I'm telling you, it's yours. Nobody is going to be interfering with that consultation. I don't care who they are, what brand they have is supporting them. It's going to be your client, because you just deliver something that out of 5 agents, 4 are not even talking about. And I can guarantee you that much. Okay. Any concerns or any questions about when we talk about, data? Do you know where to go? Florida, do you know where to go to get that information? California, do you know where to go to get that information? Texas, do you know where to go to get that information? So you can start creating that routine in your week activities to start reading, right? Because let's face it, I mean, again, we're not expecting you to memorize anything. We just want you to have the fluidity of, where do I get the knowledge, right? Where can I gather that data and prepare myself for those consultations, if it's the seller or buyer? Anybody that does not know where to go, please unmute yourself.
And while they are unmuting, we want to make sure that again, we're creating this value for you guys. So sharing is really important. We want this to be all of us talking, not just us, the leaders. We want everybody to come in. But I also, while they're doing that, I wanted to share Puerto Rico's numbers. Puerto Rico right now, I don't have their factual numbers, but I can tell you real estate is moving in Puerto Rico, and moving in prices, moving in just, I mean, I'm part of a couple of groups here in Puerto Rico, and let me tell you, they're constantly. I have a buyer that's qualified for $1.2 million and they have cash. Do you have a home? I have a buyer for 2 million. I have a rental that's looking for, a $6,000 rental with 3 bedrooms. So there's movement here in Puerto Rico. This is if you're in Puerto Rico, this is a market that is moving, that is I'm anticipating Puerto Rico to be the next Hawaii by the looks of it. Just how fast it's growing, how fast prices are going up, and just moving. It's just constantly moving. So I'm part of this chat, and it's like nonstop all day of people sharing their listings and people sharing that they have buyers looking for listings. So it is moving. And anybody unmute for that?
I don't think we have a winner there.
177.05. Who's that? They are unmuted. Nope. I don't know who they're calling. Nope. Sorry. Let's go ahead and
Okay.
move on then.
Oh,
Edith,
somebody
Edith.
said okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and talk then.
All right, Edith,
Go
go for
ahead.
it.
Well, I use FMLS, and I find very useful information. I think they're pretty good at updating, the giving up market updates, and until now that's what I've used. And I do see, like Carmen was sharing, that Georgia has, it continues to have a growth because we have a lot of people moving to the state. And so, as I was saying, FMLS said, and I think it was 2 months ago, that they released this report where they were saying that Florida, Texas, and Louisiana was starting to show some decreases in the prices and in the market, versus Georgia which was still growing. And I think part of that is because we do have a lot of people moving to Georgia. We have a lot of businesses who are establishing here in the state. And so I do believe that we do have a good market still, but there is a lot of fear because of all the changes that are going on with the new government. A lot of people are fearing that there will be recession, and that the tariffs that are being implemented are also affecting. So I think that's where the the market has kind of got stuck a little bit. We've noticed that because of the fear, and that's pretty normal, I think, when there's a change in the government administration. So it usually happens, but I'm very optimistic. I think it's gonna be a good year.
Absolutely. Agree
Absolutely.
with you, Edith.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I use the adjective noise. And it's not necessarily that this is not important information, because it is, right? Because remember, we're in a business that is behavioral. And if I'm stuck in fear, I'm stuck. I'm not doing anything. I'm not buying, I'm not making decisions or any of that sort. But when it comes to everything that is out there that we can't control, right? Like everything that is just mentioned, that is a reality of our nation. But again, we don't really have an effect on that directly. We are, it's our job to bring that client back to their main reason why that phone call took place in the very beginning, right? Why do I want to sell? Why do I want to buy? And the bottom line is that everybody needs a roof over their hair, over their head, whether they're going to be paying somebody else's mortgage or they're going to pay their own. And when and it's our job to listen, right, to see what may be the trigger points of what they're worried or what their other personal circumstances may be affected by all these other decisions that we can control. and we get to create a how, right, based on their current situation, we can still bring them into home ownership. Or maybe we can still move that property that they have to sell in order for them financially to move to the other step, right? And it's not a very friendly conversation to have, and maybe as an agent you may feel like you might not have the right thing to say, but then again, if you come from the authentic part, you don't have to go into a political conversation or an economy conversation. You just get to listen where your client is at and trying to create that solution to get them closer to that goal as fast as we possibly can. Okay. With that said, I today I had it's already what 3, well, it's almost 4 in California, it's about almost 7 in Florida and Georgia, and it's almost 6 in Texas. So like I mentioned, the whole point of this conversation is it's or the agenda of Mondays, which I think we're not going to be able to do much today. It's going to be motivation, market information, and then we're going to be talking about sales skills and strategies. And then, of course, we want to create a role play situation. So, Carmen and Teresa, do you want to add something more before we let them go for today? So that way, next Monday, when we log in into this call, the format is sharpened up and you guys know exactly what to expect. Or if you have a need, if you have something that you're struggling right now in your market and you would like us to touch base on, please either put it on the chat or share it with us directly, or right now, just unmute. Remember, this is your call, just unmute and let us know. But it is important for us to understand. One of the things that I feel based on my conversations with both of my states, Texas and California, I think it's needed a support on how to talk to those clients that keep saying, oh, I'm going to wait for the market to crash. Oh, I'm going to wait for the interest rates to get lower. No, I'm going to wait and go, wait. Those people that are waiting, and perhaps you already invested 3 months in them, 6 months in them, God knows how long. And now you're back to basic, right? You're back to sitting on the bench waiting for them. I think if we can create a conversation about how we can talk about the cost of waiting. What do you guys think about that? We having us have this presentation about the cost of waiting, right? Rent right now versus the mortgage right now. Would that support you guys as a group if we bring that to the table sooner than later? Let me know. You can put yes on the chat. You can unmute. You can say whatever. Let me know.
Yes.
Yes, I think that's a very great topic. Feedback on how to overcome that. I was just speaking to maybe three individuals today, and most of them were like, "Oh, the interest rate is too high, too much to pay on the monthly base." And I encouraged them if they had extra money to, probably put some more down payment so the monthly rate can go down, but they also contribute about insurance going up and obviously everything else that is going up. And so I from the three individual, it was like a little bit of challenge. I was coming back, back and forth. And since I have a workshop that I'm going to be presenting on Wednesday with a loan officer and title company. I was trying to invite them over, but they were like, it was a big challenge for me, but I left it open for them to attend. And at the end of the day, just keep communicating. And I think the value of the time and the effort would be at the long run a hope, and that will come back.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And I think that so you guys know we will be incorporating some role playing. We want to make sure that we bring you, what you need, right? And I know that for most of the real estate agents, as far as the ones I've had to coach, it's really how do I start that conversation? How do I overcome that objection? How do I when they come at me with this, what do I say? When they say this, what do I say? So, one of the things that we really want to do on Mondays is really bring in some role playing, bring in some ideas, anything of value. And if you guys have, like Yamali said, if you have something that you feel you have an immediate need right now in your business that you think that that's something that we should bring to the table on Mondays when we're here, let us know. I mean, you can contact your team leader. Since we're here, you know, California, Texas, Georgia, myself, whatever it is, contact them and let us know, look, this is something I really would like for somebody to, you know, touch on so that we can bring it to the table for you. Again, the purpose of these calls on Mondays is to help you. It's not to help us, it's to help you grow. It's to be able to again create your network, bring value to the states, you know, that are, you know, need a little bit more support because of other things. So I just want to make sure that you guys feel that we are here for you. And like Yemali said, if you know you guys need support in something or you have a question about Georgia, you know, in Florida, there's a lot of Florida agents that want to get their license in Georgia, and there's a lot of Georgia agents that want to get their license in Florida or Puerto Rico or Texas, you know. So, you know, to be able to support each other is going to be very, very beneficial to all of us here. So I
But
hope.
guess what?
Mhm.
Yeah, guess what? You don't have to have your license in any other states. You
Exactly, that
can
too.
use your support system and make money out of that. So
Yep,
take the headache out of the education part and just leverage what we have, which is talent in all those states.
yep,
So you are an agent as a La Rosa Realty agent, you can sell wherever La Rosa Realty is.
correct.
Just know that. Just know that and make sure that your sphere know this too. Okay. So make sure that everybody that you talk to, oh, I'm thinking of moving to Georgia. Yeah, I'm your agent. Of course I'm your agent. And you immediately contact Georgia office for that. Oh, I'm moving to Texas. Whoop. You know, I'm your agent, right? And you immediately make connection with the Texas office. It's hard to relocate from any of those states back to California because it's so expensive. But if you are in luck and you can actually afford that, then talk to California office, right? Just use and leverage what La Rosa already offers, which is the locations.
And the
Right
network.
there, right? And then of course the network, the talent, get to know, create a little pool of your best agents in all the areas, right? Just have those conversations and see, right? Maybe when you get to talk to me, maybe we don't really click, and that is okay. There's other agents in that office that maybe it's a good fit with you, right? So use us. Just use what you have as a family and make the money and create the wealth or the life, because it's not about money all of the time. It's about why are you here on the first place? Why did you decide to go through all that education and get your license?
Mhm.
Circle back into that and then leverage what the brand has to offer, okay, to achieve that. You're not a solo agent. You are not. You have all of us.
That's right.
So have that mentality.
If you use your network, definitely it's going to be less expensive for you rather than having to take the test in all those states that you would like to expand your business. You can expand using your network. Like Yamali said, you know, that's a no-brainer. You have the connections here, and we would love to see you expanding that vision that goes beyond your state. And use your network again.
That's right. Amen.
Yeah, and that goes for production, and that goes for creating your, internal business within the business, right? So remember, you as a Rosa Realty agent, if you are part of the Ultimate Plans network, right? You get to talk to anybody and everybody all across state lines and bring them over, bring them to the opportunity of La Rosa at any level, whether as a single agent or whether it's a team or whether you know a great broker in any space in United States or outside and you think it's a great fit to our culture, have the conversation, bring it to the table and grow your organization. Okay. Yes. Don't just think about selling and buying, right? Your routine as a single agent. What else can you create? If you are if you saw the vision of the ultimate plan for your business, let us help expand it.
Yes.
Don't get stuck.
Yeah, and we're here to support that because obviously we're all on the same plan, right? So we want to make sure that you guys are growing. So we're here to support. I mean, most of my agents, Janet, there's a few here that are under the ultimate plan. And, when they have an agent, they just call me, hey, Teresa, I have this agent who's really interested. Can you interview them? And I have no problem doing that because I'm here to support, right? So, if you have agents that you're trying to bring into your organization, what better, who better, if you don't know exactly how to explain what La Rosa has to offer, contact your leader so that they can just have that conversation with them and help you bring them in. You don't have to do this by yourself, is what we're trying to tell you.
Yep.
You're not by yourself. You have leaders here who are willing to help, to support, to collaborate, and to help you grow so that you can, again, like Mali said, this is you're not a solo agent. If you became an entrepreneur, you don't want to be a solopreneur. You want to be an entrepreneur, but you don't want to be a solopreneur, because solopreneurs die hungry. Okay? They die hungry. Because you guys have to think, if you're not on the ultimate plan, if you're still, thinking about just working by yourself, the day you retire, I want to know, what are you going to retire on? That's my question, because that's the question I had for myself. Teresa, when you stop selling real estate, what are you going to retire with? If you don't have any income coming in, if I'm not selling any houses. And so that's why I switched over to the ultimate, because I was thinking about my retirement, right? And creating that passive income that we need in order for us to be able to retire and not have to worry about us selling a house when we're 75. So, that's something to really think about. And that's another thing that, we'll bring to the table maybe next week too, is just, if you haven't, experienced the ultimate and you still have questions, either contact, your team lead or the person at your office. But definitely get connected with that and make something happen for yourself. Don't be a solopreneur. Definitely not. All right.
Okay,
Magnus, if you have
we're on the dot. We are on the dot today. And like I said, I mean, we didn't really get into the role play, but I really wanted to open this, start the conversation of these wonderful Mondays that we want to create just for you. And again, please, now that you know that we're here and the format that we're bringing to the table, come prepared for Monday. Come prepared with questions, with what is troubling you, with what would you like to see. Okay, and let's make this very dynamic, because it's happening on Monday. That way you can really jumpstart that week the right way, right? So if something happened in your open house the last weekend, or you had a situation with a client, or you got a new lead and you are so intimidated, you have no idea how to approach it, bring it on Monday.
Absolutely.
Make that note on Monday, and let's see what ideas, what recommendations, what can we create as a whole, so you can go ahead and close that deal. Okay, that's what Monday is about.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. I totally agree. And that is, that's what we're here. It's not just about obviously giving you information and giving you some training. It's really masterminding and helping everybody here, again, bring those things to the table. Whatever happened on the weekend and you're like, oh my God, I need to just vent and tell somebody about what happened and have them help me through this. That's what we're here for too. We're here to support. Okay. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, I'm going to say good night. We ended on time, so let's try to keep that forever. But if we go over, we go over, because again, we want to create all the value and be able to answer all your questions. Yeah, Melis, anything else?
I think we're good. So thank you, California. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, Puerto Rico. Thank you, Florida, and any other place in the world that you are at and we are not aware. God bless you. Have a great Monday. And if you need any of us, we are at my agent account. Just find us. And again, anything that we can support you, regardless whether you're under my state or not. I mean, real estate questions are pretty much the same all across. So if I can support you, reach out. If Carmen can support you, reach out. If Teresa can support you, reach out. We're here for you, ladies. I mean, for your whole team.
Yes.
Yes.
Team.
Have a
And be
wonderful
looking
week.
out next week. We'll have Daniela on, and again, she's going to be a great asset for this team because she's going to bring luxury classes. So if you guys are interested in doing luxury, she's going to be some luxury classes to us. She also speaks Portuguese, so if you know any people that are looking to join and only prefer to speak Portuguese, she's going to add that value. So be looking out for Daniela coming soon. Okay.
And I'll make sure that we have that we can get the cost of waiting prepared for you guys for next Monday.
Yes.
So just go ahead, and whomever is on this call, let them know that we're going to have that conversation happening on Monday. And let's leverage. Let's see how we can change the script and turn those looky-loos or people that want us to wait forever into real deals and close them in the next 60 to 30 days, okay?
Awesome.
Bye-bye, guys.
See you guys
Have a
next
wonderful
week.
week.
Bye.
Bye.